Hello, Anomaly here, and welcome to another Mistweaver commentary video. Today, we are continuing our adventures into Mythic Tomb of Sargeras with the third boss in the instance, Demonic Inquisition. So, without further ado, let us jump right into this fight. Big difference, or actually, really the only difference, other than things, of course, hit harder, coming from heroic to mythic, is just the now there's ads that spawn every time somebody leaves the cage on the back of Bellic, I believe is that ad's name, or the one boss's mob name. So whenever like you jump in, of course, to clear your torment, and then you jump back in, you spawn an ad outside that people outside have to kill. So it's kind of just a minor thing that ends up happening. Um, what I ended up doing again is this is another good point to drop your Transcendence just basically on Bellic, maybe a little bit in front of him from a raid perspective, just to kind of get an initial slow on. It's going to slow no matter what. It's kind of a good use of the ability since you're not really going to port around anymore. The other thing is I did take Refreshing Jadewood on this fight. I don't know if that's the good. I don't know if it's a good or bad use of the ability. We had enough melee that it made sense to end up having it. I don't know if I used it enough, but in general, I think it's probably the more useful of the two. With my raid comp, I think if you end up having less melee or just not as many, or a little bit more structured, like in and out phases, then Chi-Ji probably wins out. To be honest with you, I don't know. I just like refreshing Jade on this fight, so. So yeah, so other than that, there's debuffs you need to dispel. In general, you're gonna want to wait till, like, we had a rule, you had basically 3 to 4 seconds to get out. Afterwards, we just kind of YOLO dispelled whoever, essentially. So if I did see a melee that rushed out, like there, I saw our Demon Hunter rush to the back, popped dispelled him as soon as I saw him get out. So yeah, that's the fight. It's kind of just a back and forth for me. I actually, you'll never see the back side of the room. I don't know what happens there. That's actually really bad of me. This guy, of course, Al, what's his name? Altrigan, does like a frontal conal thing. You can actually dodge it for the most part. So, kind of watch where people are, watch where he's facing, and kind of move out of the way. Here I have quills on me, so I don't move. Don't kind of dodge or switch or move away if it is cast on you. But in general, make sure you're aware of where the mob is and get out of the way of them. So we have a ton of ads spawning here through the AoE. Use your Manatee just to kind of top people off. Use Essence Font. Essence Font's going to be a ton of use on this fight. There to get to spell myself with a debuff. Just going to use your Essence Font. Again, refreshing Jadewind. There's not a ton of people injured near me right now. So probably not the best use. I can see why a lot of people potentially like Chi-Ji on this fight. Like as you get deeper in and like your torment kind of rotates and things like that, you'll see me go down here in a couple seconds. Um, the skill kind of drops off from a useful factor. So yeah. So here I am jumping into the cage. And in here, you're dodging green orbs and picking up the good ones. What I end up doing is picking up enough just to make sure that I get the buff to get out, essentially clearing my torment. And then I stay in here for a little extra. Considering I'm the only healer down here, it lets me top other people off, just to make sure that they can come down quickly, pick up their orbs, and essentially get out. So. From here, kind of heal up people. Our tank leaves using my cooldown on our mage just to make sure he lives coming out of there, and that's pretty essential. So there, I saw our mage blink away. Was able to get a nice spell on him moving forward. So I believe the ads do actually explode on death, so you might want to move away from them. I think that's what ends up happening there. So I get quills here. I don't know what I'm doing other than getting people killed by not moving to the side, but essentially that's just me. Pop another manatee just to kind of get people topped off and living through there. Always like as soon as the fell squall ends, which is what Belak casts, like get over to Belak and just kind of sit on him um, from a sitting point. That's where your melee is always going to be because they're going to need to interrupt things. It's where pretty much everybody's going to be from a raid perspective. So great use of revival there. Folks were low, was able to kind of keep the raid stabilized and kind of elongate or kind of save, hopefully save a couple folks, at least in my mind. So, but all in all, I mean, that's the major portions of the fight, right? You saw the inside, you saw the outside, the spell things. In general, you're gonna want to make sure you're aware of dispels and where people are. Just don't dispel immediately. Give the guys time to kind of move, get out of the way of whatever they need to, and then go back. So here I kind of stay a little bit more central, particularly because I'm looking for some essence fonts. Essence font on the move, like I said, I think in one of the previous videos, and I'll continue to talk about that probably throughout this instance, is that essence font on and being able to move with essence font is probably one of the greatest changes that you'll see with this. So definitely a really good change for 725. Um, I should be popping. Yeah, there's my refreshing jade. When I got better with it as the night went on, this is our first night in Mythic, so we ended up getting three bosses down, which was great. So mana is definitely tight towards the end here, I will say. So you're gonna wanna keep an eye on that. Maybe I spammed out a little too much. Maybe with Chi it's a little bit easier. I'm not gonna use refreshing as much, but um, yeah, just trying to keep folks topped at this point. There's my mana pop being used. I do have innervate available to me. Um, Probably should use it. I don't know why I'm not calling for it. I'm very low. The bosses are also low. I might be waiting for Velens. Maybe that's why I did it. I don't. I'm trying to remember. That was a really bad dispel on my part. Gave myself a ton of corruption. I ended up going down without actually using the innervate, which is pretty funny. I don't know why. Go down here. The boss ends up dying while like I'm sitting in here, not healing the top, which is also dying. So I pop out almost immediately. Try and get people topped as much as I can. Then right then, use it with Valens. Not too bad, and the boss falls over here in a couple seconds. So, I mean, in general, this fight, the ads kind of add a different dimension, particularly if people aren't paying attention and aren't killing them. As you get behind, you're gonna get further behind. So, it does add a little bit of kind of difficulty, semblance of difficulty. I will still say this is probably other than Harjatan, this is the easiest boss. I would still rate Gorath first for my raid just because we have a really hard time. Number one, like making sure the pillars were destroyed correctly, and number two, like soaking big red circles. So, but in any event, that is a Mythic Demonic Inquisition. I really hope you guys liked the video. If you did, or if you have any questions, any suggestions, things I can do better, leave them in the comments below. If you have any more general monk questions or just want to kind of hang out, you can head over to the Pika Cerny Discord, Mistweaver channel. Guys, they're great, super helpful. But other than that, thank you very much for watching, and we will talk to you later. Bye.